Welcome back to my channel, Techno Trend Zone. If you've been hunting for reliable, up-to-date information about the Canon EOS R6 Mark III, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the swirling rumors, evolving specifications, and all the possible red flags surrounding this highly anticipated camera. The Canon R6 Mark III has sparked intense discussions across the photography and videography communities, but what's real? What's hype? And what should you genuinely expect? Let's dig into Canon R6 Mark III. The long road of leaks and confusion last year, rumors about the Canon EOS R6 Mark III began flooding the internet. Initially, the leaked specifications seemed like educated guesses rather than authentic data. Then, months later, a new set of specs surfaced, which many believed to be the real deal. Fast forward to today, and yet another wave of supposed leaks has emerged, adding layers of confusion. The core, sensor, processor, and AI advancements. The first area of speculation focuses on the heart of the Canon EOS R6 Mark III, its sensor, processing power, and artificial intelligence features. According to the most consistent leaks, the R6 Mark III will likely feature a 24-megapixel full-frame stacked sensor. Multiple sources suggest this sensor might be a refined version of the one in the Canon EOS R3, while some indicate a completely new sensor design. Either way, a 24MP stacked sensor is highly plausible and would provide a solid balance between resolution and performance, especially for action and wildlife photographers. Canon has been signaling that 24 megapixels is sufficient for its target demographic: sports shooters, event photographers, and enthusiasts who prioritize speed and accuracy over ultra-high resolution. There's also strong speculation that the camera will come equipped with the Digic X image processor, potentially enhanced with Canon's Digic Accelerator AI chip. This AI processor, first seen in the R5 Mark II and R1, significantly improves autofocus by enabling predictive tracking. It allows the camera to anticipate the movement of fast-paced subjects like athletes, birds, and even your kids playing sports. Sony pioneered this AI-driven autofocus with the A7RV, and Canon seems determined not to fall behind. The AI chip won't necessarily speed up the processor itself but will offload complex tracking and recognition tasks to provide faster, more reliable focusing. Photo capabilities. Are the rumors solid? Some of the earliest rumors indicated both mechanical and electronic shutter options, with a 14-bit RAW continuous shooting mode at up to 30 frames per second. This immediately raises questions because the current R6 Mark II already supports 40 frames per second RAW burst. Would Canon actually downgrade this to 30 frames per second in the Mark III? It's unlikely. There's also mention of an improved readout speed, around 1/180s, and deeper AI autofocus borrowed from the R5 Mark II. But some of the supposed upgrades sound more like marketing filler than meaningful advancements. Additionally, the IBIS system is rumored to offer 8.5 stops of compensation, matching the R5 Mark II's latest improvements. This would be a significant boost for handheld shooters, particularly those capturing low-light scenes or using telephoto lenses without a tripod. Another question mark surrounds pixel shift technology. Canon seems to be abandoning it, replacing it with AI-driven upscaling features that many professionals have criticized for lacking true detail. While Sony's pixel shift remains superior for static subjects like product photography and architecture, Canon seems more interested in computational enhancements rather than optical precision. Personally, I'd love to see Canon bring pixel shift back for photographers who need ultrafine detail. But we'll have to wait to see whether that happens with the R6 Mark III. Video features: 6K recording, dynamic range, and new color profiles. Moving on to video, this is where things get even more interesting. The majority of leaks point to 6K video recording up to 60 frames per second in RAW. However, there's debate over whether this will be available in full frame or Super 35 crop mode. The R6 Mark III will almost certainly offer oversampled 4K footage from that 6K capture, providing exceptionally sharp, detailed video without aliasing. The camera is also expected to handle 4K up to 120 frames per second in both DCI and UHD formats. This would put the R6 Mark III in direct competition with cameras like the Nikon Z6 III, which seems to have similar headline specs. But here's where it gets tricky. Are these leaks genuine or just copied specifications from Nikon's recent releases? It's not uncommon to see fake specs circulating that are designed to bait clicks. Some reports suggest that the R6 Mark III will adopt XFAVCS and XFHEVCS codecs from the R5 Mark II, giving users more flexible video compression options. We might also see the introduction of the Cinema EOS-style menu system, which would make resolution and frame rate selection more intuitive for hybrid shooters. The most intriguing leak: the potential inclusion of Canon Log 2 and Canon Log 3. While Canon Log 3 is becoming standard across their mirrorless lineup, Canon Log 2 is a different beast. Canon Log II typically requires a sensor capable of at least 15 to 16 stops of dynamic range, which would suggest that the R6 Mark III could feature a completely new sensor capable of delivering stunning highlight and shadow retention. This would be a massive upgrade and could position the R6 Mark III as a mini cinema powerhouse, rivaling higher-end cameras. But is it realistic? If the flagship Canon EOS R1 didn't get Canon Log II, it seems a bit odd that the R6 Mark III would debut this feature first. This is one of the biggest red flags among the current rumors, ports, ergonomics, and release timeline. Several leaks mention improvements to the R6 Mark III's ergonomics, including more customizable buttons and potentially a deeper grip for better handling. Ports should include dual card slots, likely supporting CF Express Type B and UHS-2 SD cards, essential for handling 6K RAW recording. We should also see full-size HDMI, headphone, and microphone ports, which are now standard for serious hybrid cameras. As for the timeline, the camera's registration documents appeared as early as October 14, 2024. Traditionally, Canon announces cameras within 1 to 3 months after registration, but the initial January launch window was missed. The most current buzz suggests a possible announcement in late May, June, or potentially July. Canon, being a publicly traded company, can't afford to sit on unreleased products indefinitely. Like a parent sending their child out into the world, Canon must eventually release the R6 Mark III, even if the timing isn't perfect. Pricing predictions and final thoughts. If we look at historical pricing, both the R6 Mark I and R6 Mark II launched at $2,499. Factoring in inflation and potential tariffs, the R6 Mark III could see a price hike, possibly reaching $2,699 to $2,999. But this is speculative and will depend on international trade situations at the time of release. Ultimately, the Canon R6 Mark III is shaping up to be a powerful, versatile camera, but we must remain cautious about the authenticity of these leaks. Some specs, like the 30 frames per second burst rate, seem suspect when the previous model already does 40 frames per second. Others, like Canon Log II, suggest a major sensor upgrade that may not align with Canon's typical release strategy.